Imagine waking up tomorrow and stepping outside. The sky is the same, the air smells the same, but something is moving through the tree line at the edge of your yard, something enormous. Something that was never supposed to be here. Because in this version of the world, the asteroid missed. 66 million years ago, a rock roughly the size of a city came screaming out of space at 70,000 kilometers per hour and hit what is now Mexico. In less than a single afternoon, it erased 75% of all life on Earth. That impact is the reason you exist. It is the reason mammals got their shot. And for a long time, scientists assumed that without it, something like you could never have emerged at all. But the real answer is far stranger than that. Because some of the dinosaurs would not have stayed the same. They were already changing. Faster than you think. Paleontologist Dale Russell spent years modeling this possibility in the 1980s. He called his creation the dinosauroid. He took one of the most intelligent dinosaurs known to science, the troodon, and asked a simple question. If this animal had another 66 million years to evolve, what would it become? The result was disturbing. Upright posture, large cranium, binocular vision, hands capable of manipulation. Russell was not writing science fiction. He was applying the same evolutionary pressures that turned your shrew-like ancestors into you. The pressures were already working on something else. Troodons had the highest brain-to-body ratio of any known dinosaur. They were pack hunters. They had forward-facing eyes. They were, by every measurable indicator, on a trajectory. A trajectory that 66 million years of uninterrupted pressure could have taken almost anywhere. But here is what changes first. And this is where most people stop imagining correctly. You have to understand the world they would have shaped. Dinosaurs were not just large animals wandering around in a world built for them. They were ecosystem engineers. The largest sauropods stripped entire forests and replanted them with their dung. Their feeding patterns determined which plants survived. Their migration routes carved the land. If they never disappeared, the continents you know today would be covered in entirely different vegetation. Different vegetation means different insects. Different insects means different soil chemistry. The entire food web reorganizes itself around what never left. Mammals survive in this world, but they stay small. Paleontologist Peter Dodson calculated that large terrestrial niches, the ones that allow big brain development in large bodies, would have remained locked up by dinosaurian lineages for the foreseeable future. Your ancestors would have been pushed into the margins, nocturnal, burrowing, hiding in the cracks of a world that was never theirs. No open savanna for primates to stand up in, no fruit-heavy forests cleared by primate-friendly conditions, no ice ages reshaping the landscape in ways that forced cognitive flexibility. The evolutionary ladder you climbed would not exist, not because you weren't capable, but because the rungs were occupied. This is the part that most people find genuinely unsettling. You are not the inevitable result of life on Earth. You are the result of a very specific catastrophe. Biologist Jay Gould spent his entire career arguing this exact point. Replay the tape of life, he said, and you get something unrecognizably different almost every time. Intelligence, bodies, language, cities. None of it was written into the plan. It emerged because something enormous hit the Yucatan at exactly the right angle, at exactly the right time, and wiped the board clean. Now think about what fills that board instead. The lineage that would have benefited most, if current fossil evidence holds, is the theropods, two-legged, fast, already showing signs of increasingly complex social behavior. Fossils recovered from sites in Alberta and Mongolia show clear evidence that certain late Cretaceous theropods engaged in communal nesting, cooperative care of young, and possibly even rudimentary communication signaling. Researcher Francois Therion and his colleagues at the Royal Tyrrell Museum have documented that certain troodon populations showed individual variation in skull morphology, suggesting a level of behavioral complexity we do not usually associate with the word dinosaur. So you run the tape forward. 66 million more years. A creature emerges from that lineage. It is not you. It does not look like you, but it builds things. It communicates. It eventually looks up at the same night sky you look at and asks the same question you ask. What else is out there? Here is the twist that makes this genuinely strange. If that creature exists right now, somewhere in the universe, on a planet that never had its Cretaceous extinction, it would be almost unrecognizable to you. Not because intelligence cannot emerge from a different body plan, but because the entire frame of reference would be alien. No concept of predator anxiety the way mammals feel it. No deep mammalian fear of the dark. No attachment bonding patterns built on vulnerability and warmth. A different kind of mind. Thinking thoughts shaped by 66 million years of priorities you cannot fully imagine. And yet, the math would be the same, physics would be the same, the stars would be the same. That creature, whatever it is, would have discovered fire, would have discovered mathematics, would have stared at the fossil record and found the bones of something small and warm-blooded buried in the geological layers below them. And they might have wondered, just as you are wondering right now, what would have happened if things had gone differently. The asteroid did not just kill the dinosaurs. It created the only conditions under which something like curiosity could emerge and ask about the thing that killed them. You are made of that accident. Your empathy, your language, your ability to sit quietly and imagine a world where none of this happened. Those capacities were built by 75% of life dying in a single afternoon. The extinction did not make room for something better. It made room for something that could wonder whether anything was better. And tonight, when you step back inside, past whatever is not standing at the edge of your yard, you carry with you the strangest inheritance in the history of this planet. Not survival, not dominance, but the fact that a catastrophe looked at the wreckage it made, and 66 million years later, that wreckage looked back.